think our initial start was a big portion of it. They were able to get hot 5 for 5 from 3 to start the game. I think they had a lot of momentum, but our group was poised, and we were able to fight back. But when you go 19 for 30 from the free throw line, 8 from 37 from 3, it's hard to make up ground in those areas. You know, they beat us to some 50-50 balls. I think that was a big portion of the game as well. But again, we'll go back and look at the film, find the areas where we can clean some things up and be better.
Well, what did you think about why was the team struggling from the field with this game shooting?
You know, Cleveland does a great job of packing the paint in, and they do a great job of flying at shots. But a big portion of this is us continuing to be willing to step into those shots with confidence, which our team will continue to do. And that's the work that we've put in and will continue to put in. But again, it's the little things in this game, because if you look at the stat sheet, there's a lot of similar things going through it, but now it's got to be the little things that take over. It's making your free throws. It's coming up with the 50-50 balls in these situations.
Would you attribute some of the shooting just to the long layoff? I mean, you know, a week between the last game?
It can play some part in it. I think that may be a portion, but you know, we talk about hanging our hat on the defensive end, and I think holding a team to 97 points is something that you can say, okay, you've done a good job there. Now, how can you clean up the other pieces offensively and limit some of the mistakes throughout the game?
You guys got the lead down to 5 in the third quarter. You went on a 13-3 run to close the third quarter. What did you see in that moment to kind of flip momentum around?
Well, going back again to getting stops, to get out and run. You know, you were able to hold them to one shot, one possession, and we were able to get out and get easy baskets in transition. And I think that's something that we'll have to continue to look at, the way in which the pace we play. But going back to, again, defensively, can we get the stops to be able to get out and run?
Harris was the primary defender on Mitchell,
Mm-hmm.
so what went into that decision?
I think it's just different times for different matchups. I mean, there's been times that Gary understands where and which to guard, and again, because of certain ways we were playing it, you have to look at there was multiple defenders and guarding him. Now, he came out, hit some big ones. I think he got himself going with that end of clock 3, and so you know he saw the ball go in early, so that builds confidence.
You talked about the physicality that we'd see in the playoffs,
Mm-hmm.
the intensity, aggressiveness. How do you feel like your team handled that throughout the game?
I think they handled it very well. I think we continue to talk about how physical it's going to be, and we're okay with that. We did not rattle. We did not get frustrated. We understood how the whistle was going to go, and that's what this team has grown into. The experiences of this past week has given them that, and so they know exactly what it's going to be. We're not shying away from it. We will continue to embrace exactly how physical this game is going to continue to be.
Do you think they were ready for that playoff intensity from the jump, or did it take just a couple of minutes for them to kind of gain that poise that you talked about?
I think they had poise. You know, I just think, you know, the shots weren't falling early. We were able to defend the right way for a period of time. And I think when we came out in that second half, that was a big portion of understanding exactly what we need to do, you know, to get ourselves in this game and keep ourselves in games.
The game got chippy at moments there in the second quarter. The play involving Markel, several plays involving Mo. Did that work against you, for you, or have no impact?
I think it has no impact. I think the way that the playoff series go, it's going to get chippy. It's going to be physical. It's going to be jawing back and forth, and that's okay. We embrace all of that. That's who we are. You know, we're okay with the physical. We're okay with the talking, but we have to make sure that we just continue our level of poise throughout the game and do it and let our play do the talking.
Obviously, you didn't get off to maybe the start. You wanted to stay in the game and keep in contact. But what did you see from starting Jonathan Isaac? What went behind that decision, and how does the bench now adjust to maybe having Wendell with that group instead of JR?
Well, we'll go back and look at the film and see exactly what that looks like, you know, with some adjustments that we'll make and some adjustments that they'll make, but just being able to capitalize on it the right way.
Coach, now that you're trailing in the series, what's the message to this young group to keep now, you know, open going into Monday?
Look, Cleveland did their job. They're the home. They went. You win at home. They did what they're supposed to do. It doesn't become a series till the home team loses. And so right now we just have to make sure we stay the course, play the right way, go back and look at the film. What can we adjust to? What can we clean up? Where can we be better? That's the big portion. That's the message to the guys. What can we adjust and what can we clean up to make ourselves better for game 2?
What did you learn about your team from this game?
There's a level of poise that they've grown into, and that they're showing that they understand exactly what this means in these moments and how we have to play night in and night out, which they do understand. But it's now it's real time, and being able to bounce back and continue to make runs and know that it's a game of runs throughout the game. We just got to continue to be smart about it and improve.
With all the responsibility and attention that Paolo gets,
Mhm.
how do you think they fared in their first playoff game, just kind of getting a feel for what that physicality is going to be like and how these teams are going to play them in these playoff settings?
I think they've been seeing it all year. And for them to respond the way in which they did, trying to make the right play, the right pass, the right assignment within what we were doing, I thought they did a very good job there. And, it comes down to the little things again.
Were you happy with your team's three-point looks on balance?
I'll have to go back and look at the film, but from what I'm looking at now, I was happy with a lot of the looks that we got. We just got to continue to step into them with that level of confidence.
Slower starts,
Mhm.
first quarters of road games have been kind of an issue for this team kind of lately. How do you rectify that? How can you get that to change, for game two, just off to a better start?
We'll just continue to talk about the mentality that you have to have to have going into it. Being able to step on the gas early. You can't ease yourself into games this way.
Franz, you guys were 21-2 this regular season when you held teams under 100 points. What did you see perhaps tonight offensively that prevented them from being able to capitalize on that?
I thought for a lot of those possessions we got good shots, but I think in a couple of possessions we were a little stagnant. Just kind of watching the ball handler and watching film and be better next game.
How frustrating is it when those shots aren't falling and the game is still relatively, within reach?
That's frustrating, but that's not how we looked at it. We were like, we're not playing our best basketball. We're still in the basketball game, so obviously we need to hit shots to win this series, but we're confident we'll make them next game.
What do you think the shot selection was? What do you think the shot selection was that say?
Solid, I would say. Like I said, I think there were a couple of possessions where we were stagnant, and that kind of leads to tough shots. But for the most part, I think we tried to make the right play. Yeah.
It's been a struggle to start games over the last couple of weeks, and a lot of first quarters kind of falling down behind. How much of an effect did that have on the rest of the game, trying to climb uphill the way that you guys had to?
Yeah, they came out firing. I thought even in that first quarter, I hit that first 5 threes. Some of those were really tough shots, but we gotta make sure that for the remainder of the series we come out with the right mindset, right attitude, and right aggressiveness to start the basketball game. That's on the first 5 to start the game off right.
You guys have had that kind of confidence to still stick with it defensively and kind of grind yourself back into the game. Did you kind of feel that confidence throughout the course of the game this year? Where does that composure come from?
Yeah, I thought we were good poise today. Shots falling, not falling. I thought we competed at a high level, had great effort, and stuck together the whole game. And that's what it's going to take for the remainder of the series.
Franz, you alluded to this, but what makes you optimistic heading into the rest of the series?
I think just how we prepare. I think belief is one of our main things. If you don't have belief, normally stuff doesn't work out for yourself. So I think that's the first step, and we've had that all year. Whether other people believe in us or not, and so we got to keep that up.
A coach talked about everyone needing to kind of chip in to stop Donovan Mitchell. What do you need to do to kind of stop him for the remainder of the series?
Just try to make everything tough on him. He's gonna hit shots and make tough plays, and he's gonna make it a little tougher, I think, than we did tonight. But he's a really good player. He's gonna make plays, and he's gonna take all 5, not just the guy guarding the ball.
Was there a moment before, during, or after where it felt a little bit more real that you guys are in the playoffs? And do you think that because now that you've got a game under your belt, you feel more prepared going into Monday and the rest of the series?
Sure, but I've felt prepared before. Obviously, it's a little bit more hyped up and juiced up and everything, and obviously we noticed that too. But I think this is also what we worked for all year. and even before we got to the NBA. So I think it's now it's time to just go out there and enjoy it and compete at a high level.
What's going to be your biggest takeaway from your first playoff game?
I think the physicality. Yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. Stuff that's getting called in the regular season is not getting called now. But I think even with that, I thought we did a good job adjusting and being physical ourselves.
What about the physicality that's different in the playoffs?
Just a lot more is allowed and is expected, I think, on both sides. So yeah, just a little different brand of basketball, I'd say.
Along those lines, you played in some big basketball games over the summer. How did the environment and intensity of this your first playoff experience compare to that?
Very similar, I'd say. Yeah, every possession matters. Attention to details it's really high, and like I said, I think these are the games that you work for as a player, and so I think we just gotta keep having the right attitude and enjoy these moments, and yeah, I think this is part of it. We're gonna get better from this game, and hopefully show it on Monday.
You mentioned the attention to detail. How important is it to take care of your business at the foul line to kind of continue to limit turnovers? How much of today was stuff you can control? You're not necessarily making missing shots, but how much of it was stuff that you guys can control?
I think a lot of it. Yeah, you mentioned the free throws. We got to be better there, and then I think defensively, just a couple of our coverages. I thought our communication was, only good at times. So we got to make sure we do a good job with that the whole game next time. But yeah, I think a lot of the stuff that, a lot of our mistakes we can clean up and are in our control.
21-2, in fact. What did you see offensively tonight that perhaps prevented you guys from capitalizing on that?
We didn't score enough. Yeah, we only had 83. Just shots wasn't falling, so nothing to really, get upset about. I think we got some good looks, so just gotta get back at it on Monday.
What can you do when, there's been plenty of games where shots just don't fall. That's naturally a 2-game season. But what can you do when shots aren't going down the way that they were tonight?
Keep shooting. Yeah.
You talked about an emphasis coming into this week being on getting off to a faster start. You kind of find yourself behind again after the first quarter. What can you pinpoint as the reason for that in this game?
Yeah, I think they had a lot of momentum. I think first game one at their own place. They hit some tough threes to start the game. Guys who we were game plan was to let them shoot, made some threes as well. So you can't overreact to stuff like that, but that did give them a 9-10 point lead that we kind of never were able to come back from. So definitely, got to be a little more locked in on the next game of just trying to be there and take away those looks, even though they were, contested or some of them were part of the game plan.
To that point, is a lot of it mindset coming in? Like, I think Franz mentioned that you said you have to be more locked in too.
No, we're locked in.
Okay.
I'm just saying, I was just saying, like, Strus hits a fadeaway 3, Mitchell hits a tough 3 over me, Mobley hits 2 threes. So you can't overreact, but, guys like Strus and Mitchell, you try and get them off the line some more. But those were tough shots.
Speaking of Mitchell, Coach talked about how all 5 guys need to really lock in to defend him. How do you make it tougher for him, I guess?
I think just trying to speed him up, pick him up full court, make him exert energy as much as you can. But he's a experienced all-star level player who's been in a lot of playoff environments. So he's not easy to fluster. You got to just do what you can. He's gonna make tough shots, and I think we can do a little better job though. But he's a great player, so gotta find a way to stop him. It takes the whole team.
I want to talk about how you can't simulate the postseason, you have to experience it for yourself. Now that you and your team has experienced it, do you feel more prepared going into game 2 and beyond? And what do you think is the biggest difference between today and regular season games?
Yeah, I definitely think we feel better going into game 2. It was a tight game, even though we were down, a little bit. It was still tight, and we didn't miss a lot of free throws, didn't make threes. So it's a lot that we could have done better, to make this a better game for us. So going into game 2, you just clean up on those things and come in with more confidence, and we'll be good.
How important are those details, making free throws, kind of maybe charging the ball a little bit, not turning the ball over? How important are those details to getting that win in game 2?
It's important in every game you play. Got to make your free throws, and like you said, got to take care of the ball better. But it was the first game for all of us for the most part, so you kind of expect to have some of those mishaps and mistakes, but I'm not worried that we'll be better in game 2.
You mentioned that the Cavs were able to hit some contested threes, but then they went on a streak like where they missed 18 in a row, and it's got to be part of your defensive effort. Overall, how do you think the defense was, and how do you carry that over game 2?
I think our defense was good. Like I said, they made some tough shots to start the game, but after that run they had to start, I think it was even for the rest of the first half. We just got to do better on offense, find ways to get easier looks, but also just make shots, make free throws. We didn't really play well on offense as a team, so I think defense is less of the concern, I would say, more offense.
What about poise you guys play with? I mean, you're in a hostile environment, crowd's loud, game doesn't get off to a good start, but, there were times when the game was certainly not out of reach.
Yeah, no, for sure. I don't think anybody's scared of them or the game or the moment, so we just got to be ready for game 2. I think it's going to be fun.
Obviously, you still have to kind of look at the tape and go over things, but how would you evaluate your first playoff appearance, first playoff game?
I thought I played okay. I think I could have done a lot of things better. I was loose with the ball, but like I said, it was my first. I was just super anxious, super excited. So a couple of moves I tried to make where I lost it, a couple passes that got stolen. So that's stuff I got to clean up on. I had 9 of our 12 turnovers, so don't plan on doing that ever again. But I thought I did okay. I thought I was aggressive and got to the rim. Got fouled, just got to make free throws. So could have been much better though.
What's going to be your biggest takeaway from your first playoff game?
I think just the atmosphere. It was a very lit atmosphere. Super fun to play in, super fun to be with the guys and just be in the midst of it all. But I think now I just realize, you got to be even more focused. You got to be even more sharp, even more, tight in all aspects.
Franz talked about how the physicality is different in the postseason. Is that something that you sense as well, and if so, how is that the case?
You definitely sense it, Refs kind of just give you that look, you don't even want to really say nothing to the refs because, I think it's just understood as the playoffs, you're not going to get the same calls. Refs aren't going to, call the same foul. So I enjoy it. I thought it was a fun game. I love the physicality. I love the intensity that both sides showed, and I'm excited for Monday.
Everybody good?
When you look at the big picture, and I think you alluded to this a lot, what are some of the things that make you optimistic heading into game 2?
That we shot 32 from the field, 21 from 3, and 60 from the line. And it still wasn't ever over until the last 2 minutes. So